Okay. Welcome to the Three Principles Global Community webinar. The Three Principles Global Community, or 3PGC, is a nonprofit organization that is committed to bringing an understanding of the three principles as introduced by Sydney Banks to people throughout the world. Today, we're thrilled to have Stephanie Benedetto, and I want to tell you a little bit about Steph. Steph Dragonheart Benedetto is a creative catalyst, transformative coach, and storyteller devoted to awakening the creative fire in the visionary entrepreneurs and artists, bringing their soul-led projects to life. She plays with dragons, mystery, and the art of becoming. And I'll just say for myself, if there was an award for the most fun 3P person, you would definitely get nominated.
Oh, I would get nominated, but I wouldn't necessarily win. There are a
Yeah,
lot of fun people
I,
in the
I
community.
would have to nominate at least five people, which is very easy in this community, but you would definitely be nominated. So with that, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Tom. I like that. I kind of find that everybody is fun, like everybody likes to play. If I sit with them and I listen, and then I can discover before long what play looks like for them. You know, everybody does. Everybody likes to have fun in their own ways. So the title of this particular presentation is Love in Action, Creating Your Life from Flow. And I kind of wanted to know before I leap in there, because this is for you, what was it that got you to show up here today? And what is it that you'd love to get from it? So if you wouldn't, can people put in the chat, Tom? I've forgotten. They're able to do that, right? You're muted. I can't hear you.
They should be able to put something in the chat.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So if you could put something in the chat, like what was it that made you show up here, or that you, once you're here, because maybe you're just like, I don't know, I'm here. Now that you're here, what would you love to get from today? And it can be related to that topic I mentioned, or it might not be. But I would love to start with that. Is everybody shy?
It says chat disabled for me.
oh
Oh, it
boy.
does. Okay,
Okay.
cool. So if chat's disabled, that's fine. Do you guys want to share something? You were talking, whoever said that chat's disabled. You can shout a little something out if you want.
Um, it's two things. I'm actually available this evening to do a webinar. That's not always something that happens. And the other thing is I've been kind of reflecting on that, on mind and that kind of line in, I think it's the missing link about kind of aligning the personal and the universal mind.
Ooh, cool. Thank you
Where
for
I'm at.
sharing that. I think that fits. Anyone else want to share something about ending up here? What they'd love to get from today? Paula,
Mhm.
you raised your
Yeah, I
hand.
did. I did. Hi, Stephanie. And I'm here because I just love anything you put out. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I'm here. I would probably have to add my vote to the most fun 3PG person. But beyond that, um, I also am interested in the topic. I mean, as you know, Steph, it does align with my experience in the 3P realm, and am interested in hearing what you have to say about this today. And I will add that I apologize in advance. In the Rocky Mountain, US, it is lunchtime. So I'm kind of preparing and getting animals fed and stuff like that. So I'll be on and off screen. But
Cool.
glad to see you, and glad to see nice to see some familiar faces today.
Yeah, and happy to have you here too, Paula. And please feed yourself and your animal companions. Awesome. Jennifer, I see you have your hand raised. Hi.
Hi. Um, so I've never listened to you speak before, but Tom highly recommended you. and I'm trying to find my flow. I'm trying to find my flow in how to share this understanding because it's made such a huge impact on me.
Mm.
Now it's that, and I just love to listen and learn, and really excited for this. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm glad you're here, and thank you for sharing that. And Crystal, if I'm mispronouncing your name, please let me know. Okay.
No, you did not. First time hearing you speak. I have to say, I saw you on another 3PGC webinar. You weren't the main speaker, but you interacted a little bit. Your personality was so fun. So I'm going to have to go with that fun factor too. But yeah, just curiosity to hear you speak. And I love the title and subject. And I just want to hear your version of, living from the flow. So yeah, curiosity, let's call it that.
I love that. I love showing up with curiosity. Thanks, Crystal.
You're welcome.
And Wendy, I see your hand there.
Hi. Yeah, the reason I'm here is I just love the community, continuing to deepen my understanding. It's been several years now. I'm a coach, and I wanted to meet you. I haven't been to one of your talks before, so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Pleasure. Hi, Dennis.
Hello, hello. Well, for me, I want to know what love is. I really want to know.
I just couldn't help here. I heard a song when you said, I want to know what love is.
I think that made one of us. But thank you. You get the prize. You do. You get more than a nomination from me. But when I talk about love in this case, something that I've been curiously playing with is this love that we see most of the time, that we've grown up with, that is this thing that has checks boxes. So here is the person, blonde. Oh, good, check. Blue eye. Oh, good, check. Oh, good skin tone. Oh, good. Oh, they're fun to be with. Oh, good, check, check, check. But then when we eliminate the check boxes as the important thing, there's this other thing that's always just a part of us that is love. And it doesn't take the energy of check boxes. And that's always something I'm curious to see more of. And right now, I live in a very shallow kind of understanding of it.
Yeah.
And I really want to know what love is.
I wouldn't have thought that based on what you just said, Dennis, because you said, because really you already have an awareness of love as something that's beyond all the checked boxes. So yeah, cool. Thank you. I like that.
But there's got to be more.
So perhaps we will explore the depths of that, or at least dip ourselves in that a little more. Thanks, Dennis. Hi, Roger. What would you like?
Hello. Yeah, I haven't seen you before. I didn't know of you. My friend is here somewhere, another Roger, who told me about this webinar. And he also put me onto 3P in the first place. And I've been very grateful to him for that. So when he said he's coming on this evening, I thought I'd piggyback along, and he's got good taste, I know. So I thought it'd be good.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm glad that you did.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So with all that, you are helping me. We are creating this. We are creating this experience. I kind of have a sense that if you're here, it's because you were meant to be, and not in a way like there was anywhere else you could have been because you're here. It's kind of like we know, we have a knowing of where we're meant to be in it. We follow it by just recognizing where we actually want to be. Sometimes it's a knowing, and sometimes it's just simple desire. And that actually isn't just an offhanded comment. I think that has a lot to do with flow. But before I get into that, I'll tell you a little story. Let's see, what's the story that feels right for you? So this is a story about discovering what flow means to me. And it started out, I think when I really noticed it starting out was probably 9 years ago now, when I read the book called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. And in it, the short version is that Michael Singer did an experiment with life. And he decided that whatever life sent his way, he would say yes, regardless of his personal preference. And life brought him all kinds of adventures that he never would have asked for from his personal preference, from his personal mind, from his imagining of what he thought his life ought to look like. And so something about hearing Michael Singer's story and just this idea of surrender stayed with me. And I thought, I want that. It doesn't mean what Michael Singer experienced. I want to have my own surrender experiment. And I started asking what surrender was. And I wouldn't have said it this way at the time, but I was looking inside to find out what surrender was. And what I began to discover was that there was this knowing in me, this guidance in me, this intelligence in me. And this was before I'd discovered the three principles, by the way. So I didn't have that kind of language for it, but it was there because it's always been there. And that intelligence was what sparked something in me, probably to read Michael Singer's book, and then certainly to have my own surrender experiment exploration. And what happened was I started to notice what I really wanted, which was never a question I had asked myself before. What do I want from my life? I had done a lot of asking God what God wanted from my life. I had a very fundamentalist Christian background, so that was something I was very familiar with. And I was very good at asking or making stuff up about what other people wanted from me and anticipating and making up the needs that they had so that I could fill them. But I wasn't very accustomed to asking what I wanted. And as I did, I discovered that what I wanted wasn't what I really wanted, wasn't what I actually thought it was. Because the discovery, the exploration of what do I want and surrendering to life, the flow of life, took me on an adventure that I never could have anticipated. And it continues to this day. So externally, I ended up leaving my marriage, which was a loving one, simply because I knew that wasn't really what I wanted. And I had a business that I ran with my now ex-husband that was profitable, and I left that too. And we had 2 houses in New York, and we had very established lives. But something was calling me. And it was one of those journeys where you go on a journey to find something, and then what I found was me, the thing I'd really been looking for. And it's taken me all kinds of places. I now live in Portugal. I have had, I lived many years and traveled as a digital nomad. I travel a lot now. I was always afraid to travel before that. And I would attribute this to this exploration of what flow means and what surrendering to life means, and discovering me, which was really surprising because I always thought life was outside of me. I thought God was outside of me. Something maybe that if I was good enough or devout enough or practiced enough, maybe I could get closer to that. But it wasn't me. And that flow was something I had to get into or find or make happen. And what I started to discover was that it's me being me, and it's my natural state. So when I'm just being, and I say being me, that's not what I think about me or the activities that I think of as the kinds of things that Stephanie likes. It's an experience, it's a feeling. It's a feeling of being alive, and interestingly enough, without me on my mind. And then this experience of me comes through me that is far richer, deeper, and more enjoyable than anything I've ever felt when I was thinking about myself. So I used to do a lot of hard work before my surrender experiment. I was kind of a workaholic at some points in my life, and I still really enjoy work. And in fact, I made things hard to prove my value. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but I would make things harder than they had to be, just so that I could show how good I was, how worthy I was. And in following and exploring surrender and noticing how hard it felt to try all the time and push myself, it started to occur to me that there was an easier way, because I knew it in some areas of my life at some times. There had to be a way to find this experience we call flow. And the way it looks to me now is so much simpler than it did then. That it isn't actually a doing, it's a relaxing into the flow of life that already has me. And I titled this Love in Action because I wanted to talk about, I think in beautiful communities like this, where we come together and we slow down and we create space in our minds and we listen, there's a very nice feeling. It's lovely. And sometimes when we go back to our everyday lives and the things that are ours to do, we lose that feeling, not because it actually went anywhere, but because our attention went somewhere else. And for a long time, I thought that I had to wind myself up to do things, to get things done. Because if I didn't, if I just relaxed and I enjoyed myself and stayed in a nice feeling, nothing would happen. What I have discovered, joyfully, is that when I relax and I'm present, at some point, because I'm human and because we seem to be designed to create, to be curious, to grow, something moves me. The flow of life moves me without my having to do it or make it happen. So I began to experiment actually for myself with work that was easier, with work that didn't feel hard. And so at first, even though as I came across the three principles, I saw that it was never what I was doing that created the feeling I was having. It was what was happening in my mind. It was what I was thinking that was creating the feeling. And so the first thing that occurred to me was, oh, wow, that means I don't have to feel pressure. That means it doesn't have to feel hard. But I was still confused because for a while it looked like the things I was doing in my business that felt bad were creating the pressure. It kind of slipped through. I didn't see it. And so I stopped doing a lot of the things I used to do that I thought were creating pressure, like time blocking on my calendar and scheduling lots of things on a to-do list. I just started to drop them, and it felt wonderful because for the first time I wasn't pushing myself to do more all the time. And in that experience, I started to notice I was a little floaty, kind of like I wasn't quite getting as much done as I would like to. And I didn't know how to do it without going back to pressure. So I started wondering about it, like, okay, so what else is possible? And I started experimenting with trying different things that made sense to me, listening from inside instead of what the experts told me to do and the books about productivity and how to get things done and hustle culture that I came from. I started listening to what I knew, and I discovered that it didn't matter how much or how little I had on my calendar. I could always relax. And when I did, the flow found me. So flow doesn't look like it lives any particular place. It looks like that's what life is. It's a flow. And the only thing that takes me out of flow is a thought. Whatever thought I might be having that doesn't feel like flow. And the flow of life doesn't have just one feeling, right? Because I've explored this with people too, that like, what does flow mean to you? Some people often talk about it the way that I forget, he has a really cool but not perfectly pronounceable for American English name who wrote about flow.
Yeah, Csikszentmihalyi.
Thank you. I knew somebody knew it. That it's what happens in peak performance with athletes and dancers, and when your brain waves are synced a certain way, right? Like the flow of life has it's like a river, like sometimes there are rapids where there's a lot of turbulence, and sometimes there's a current that carries you. And sometimes some parts of the river, if you go down low enough and it's a deep enough river, it's really still. But it's alive and it's moving. and we can feel it and we can be moved by it. And that's how flow is looking to me. And I think there's one more thing I want to say about this before we jump into some of the questions and topics here. Because this was actually sparked by my dear friend Kate, who you probably know if you've been in the 3PGC community, as she hosts a lot of the webinars and is behind so many of the amazing communications here. And she asked me to talk about action. And what it looks like when you fall in love with work. Because somehow along the way, I didn't know this is where I was headed. I have fallen in love with everything I do as a part of my business. I didn't know that was possible. And it's not because I got rid of all the things that I think I didn't like to do. It's kind of twofold. First of all, the more I do what I actually want to do, the more fun it is. Even when it gets challenging, because it does, it feels easeful. There's a flow about it. And when it's hard, I still love it because I love what I'm up to. But the other part, this is the part that I really didn't know was available, is that you can fall in love with anything by being with it and not thinking about it. There's an enjoyment in just being, and it's possible. I'm not saying you have to, by the way. You don't have to. There are plenty of things that I actually really don't have any interest in liking or falling in love with. But I could if I wanted to. And a lot of times people wait to feel inspiration before they act. Because they catch on to this thing that, like, I want to live in a nice feeling. And they forget, like we all do, that what you do has nothing to do with how you feel. So you can do anything with any feeling if you create it. Or rather, if you stop creating that you don't like it. So what I've discovered, which has really helped me just create so much more in my life and flow so much more, is that if I want to do something, I just do it, no matter how I feel in the moment. And writing is a good example for me. I write daily emails in which I share about my personal journey and my business journey and spiritual teaching stories and insights that I'm having and anything pretty much, I feel like. And some days I don't really feel like writing. But what I know is that when I sit down and I start writing, I stop thinking about writing. I stop thinking, I don't feel like writing. And when I'm writing, the movement of life takes over at some point. And there's a feeling that's enjoyable about that. And before I know it, inspiration finds me. And this has become something I've experienced enough times that I see it as absolutely 100% reliable, because it has to work that way. As soon as I stop thinking that I don't like this, I don't feel like it, I don't feel that anymore. And when I put my attention now, it's not on my thinking, but it's actually on what I'm doing, and I keep it there, it's enjoyable. If I take it away and start thinking about, oh, I'm not doing this fast enough, or I suck at this and it's no good, then I will feel my thinking again. And it's so clear to me with action that it no longer stops me when I feel nervous, afraid, uninspired, frustrated, and grumpy. I just do it if I actually want to. And I get to keep this beautiful wisdom in me that says, Steph, it's time to take a break. It doesn't mean I push myself through things. It just means that I don't stop myself from what actually wants to happen through me. So I see action actually as a gateway, as an invitation to inspiration, as an invitation to flow, and also clarity. I can start something and this again, I'll use writing, it's a metaphor. I can start writing something and not know what I'm writing, but discover it as I write. Or just like right now, as I'm speaking, I don't know what I'm going to say, but I start speaking and I discover what I'm saying. I didn't know I would tell some of these stories I'm telling you today. And I discover it as I do it, and I get clarity about what's happening from being in it and participating in it. And it's not a way that I was accustomed to thinking before my surrender experiment began. I used to heavily overthink and heavily overplan. And when I would do a presentation like this, I would map everything out and pretty much memorize what I was going to say. And I was well rehearsed and well spoken, but it was scripted. You could tell I'd rehearsed it. It wasn't really as alive as it could have been if I'd relaxed into the moment and let life move me, which I know now is available and I didn't know then. So one of the things that I hope for you is that my wish for you would be to feel the flow of life. Let's see if you can even feel it now. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just your experience. Like, can you notice the flow of life? It might feel like an aliveness that's gentle inside of you. Maybe it's just noticing the tingle of your skin in the air, the sensation of whatever your feet might be resting on. You might feel warmth or sensation in your body. You might notice the flow of life as emotion or thought through your mind. Or maybe it's just a sense, oh yeah, there's a flow of life and I can feel it. And if you're feeling anything, that's the flow of life as it feels to you right now, as it's moving through you right now. And the way it feels has a lot to do with, everything to do with how you're using that power of thought we have. The imagination that's so real feeling and gives us such beautiful experiences and can also create such nightmares. And it's alive. And it's moving through you, it's flowing. And I do want to talk about what Dennis brought up about love, because I did put love in action in this title. And what do I mean by that? I'm not talking about personal love that Dennis alluded to as checking the boxes that allow me to say if I'm attracted to this person or not, whether they're a friend or a lover. But the love that is the feeling of just being present here, the feeling of the flow of life. I don't always use that word love for it. I often don't, because I've had some thinking about love too. But I have grown to like this idea of love in action because I love action and creation. And when I'm moved by the flow of life, that's what it feels like. It feels like love in action, loving action. It feels like just being here. There's a love and a joy that bubbles up for no reason at all. And needing to, without needing to save anyone or change anyone or even help anyone, there is a natural flow of action to do what's mine to do to make a difference. And it's super simple. It's smiling at someone and saying hello. It's holding a door for someone in the supermarket, or helping people pick up something when it's dropped. Someone did that for me in a very busy train station. My backpack came open and my cables went flying, and this young woman came over and she helped me. She didn't have to do that. I was like, wow, thank you. Like, that is how natural it is when we're not caught up in thought, when we're really just here in the flow of life. Those little things, we become love in action. And someone mentioned earlier, I think it was Jennifer, sharing the understanding that you've seen. When you're just here and you're not trying, it's going to come out. When you're relaxed and in the flow of life, you don't have to say anything to share it. You're being it. And the words that you say will carry the flavor of what you've seen when you speak from this place. So that's a little bit about what I see, how love looks to me, this universal love, peace and joy that are the natural feeling of just being here without a lot on my mind. There's no cause for it. It just is. There's no source. There's no person who made me feel this love. It just is. So I'll stop there and see if there are any. I'm curious if you have any questions, or if you're noticing something new or feeling something new that's arising in these minutes that I've been speaking. You can raise your digital hand and make it easy for us to see you.
Well, Steph, as we're waiting for people to raise their hand, I really love what you've been sharing. And like for me, I used to think, like if I were to look at the word action, it usually involves some kind of movement. And in this modern technological world, it is almost most action is communication of one form or another.
Mm.
You're speaking to someone, you're writing something, you're tapping on your device, you're sharing something, or you're going somewhere, moving something. Action is movement. And so to me, the expanded version of that is action as flow. And the thing about flow, because some of those things I mentioned, we're not doing all the time. We're doing part of the time. But the flow is always happening.
Mm.
So if action is flow, we are actually always, always in action. And maybe to just appreciate that and not give ourselves a hard time sometimes, and appreciate that, and to feel that flow. And I also feel like imagination and vision is really the ultimate action, because nothing happens without your having an idea
Mm.
most of the time. Sometimes things happen spontaneously, but we have ideas. And then what you talked about in your writing about saying, well, some days I have the thought, which is really key. I have the thought, I don't feel like doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So so what I've also seen like in my artwork is there's just like a handful of little thoughts. They have no power, and they have this sort of range of, well, I don't know what to do, right? I'm sure people can relate to that. I don't know what to do. That's a thought. I don't feel like doing it. That's a thought. Or the biggest one I see in art, and it's still small, is, oh, someone's going to judge me for this. Another thought. And when you see it's just a thought and you know the flow is always available, it's already happening, then same with love. Love's always in action. So I just wanted to share that. And I see Jennifer has her hand up.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom. I love that. And there's one thing just before I talk to Jennifer, we talked to her. I came across a meditation some years ago that invited people to put a rock in front of themselves and say, this rock is a happening. And I was like, whoa, it's a happening. It's alive. It's a creation in the moment, because that's the only way I can experience it. And we are a happening. Like what I heard you saying is like, we're always happening. We're alive with this happening. We're never static. We're alive. There's so much happening. And sometimes it looks like external action, and sometimes it looks like sitting quietly, but there's a flow and a happening inside of us that's gorgeous to notice, that it's vibrant. So yeah, thank you, Tom. I love that you brought that. Yeah. Jennifer. Hi.
Hi. I I've really loved everything you were saying. Talking about that, having that thought of I don't want to, or I'm not good enough. I think like I've really done a lot of the trying to be still and be, but I was always looking for the inspiration. And yeah, I guess to see that, oh, I don't feel like that is just a thought. That's really what I just seen is, yeah, you do it anyway, right? You show up, you do it,
If you want to.
and you don't think about it. And that's when the magic really happens, is when you can stop thinking about it. Because my thing is like, yeah, I want to do things, like podcasts. Me and Crystal do a couple of podcasts, and there's times where it's like, ooh, I don't know if I feel like I can do it right now because I don't know what to say. But, and when I've ran classes and just, I guess I've just realized that, yeah, it's when I show up, even if I think I don't want to, and just step into it, that's when some of the best things happen, right? So thank you for sharing. Thank you for this, because it's been very wonderful.
You're welcome, Jennifer. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think we've probably all, I wonder if you've had an experience. Let me ask you this. I wonder if you can notice an experience you've had where you didn't want to do something. You didn't feel like it. And you showed up for it and were surprised to discover that you enjoyed it, or inspiration found you, like Jennifer was talking about with the podcast. Sometimes you just show up for it. You stop thinking about it and you show up, not with your thinking anymore, but with what's right there in front of you. And then life shows you what's really there available, which is so rich and alive. But for the thought that tells us it's not, and I don't like it, and nobody else is going to like it either, and this isn't worthwhile, and whatever it happens to be, whatever your favorite flavor is of discouragement. Yeah, so cool. What else? Is Dennis still here, or did he have to drop off? Because I wanted to ask if we touched on the love piece enough for his satisfaction or not. Yeah, I see Dennis now.
Ah, yes, you actually, and by the way, that was beautiful. I don't even want to comment on anything because everything you said was just beautiful. I had to break off to make ground beef for the dogs. So I was listening. I was in flow. I was in flow. Um, the something that really touched a memory for me, and it kind of made me go, "Oh, was that?" Was when you were talking about the woman who helped you um, pick up some of those things you spilled. It reminded me of a time I was with my men. I used to do a lot of theater, and I was building some shows in Munich in the early '90s. We were invited, and I was with my mentor, and we were leaving the U-Bahn, and a young woman had a long scarf, and it got stuck in the escalator as we were going up. And I heard a scream, and I just moved and lifted this woman up and removed the scarf from her and put her back down, and she said thank you. I forgot about it till about 5 years ago when I was sitting with my mentor, and he said I didn't even know the woman had screamed and you were gone. And so what it really made me wonder was how often we react, we when we're in a flow, when we're in a flow of life, those movements, those actions just happen without question. Oh, there's something down there. I'm going to pick it up. Oh, there's a person in need. Let's just be there for them. And there's not much on it. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot it. I forgot that it happened. I just, off we went, So I just wonder how often all of us here, as we are moving through life, with maybe our thoughts off at other places, what we're buying for groceries. Are we making ground beef for the dogs? The other layers of us that just kind of move through life and flow and allows us to just go shift without a thought.
Wow, that's cool. Love is so ordinary that way. It's absolutely gorgeous. And if you don't like the word love, as sometimes I have not been fond of it, try on care. It's
Mm.
like care is natural. When we don't have a lot on our minds, we leap to someone's aid to save them from strangling with a scarf. Because you were the one that life said, life moved you. That woman in the train station, life moved her to help me. And it's natural.
And isn't that just a truly beautiful part of all of us?
I don't know. Is there a non-beautiful part? I mean, there are misunderstood parts. I'm really asking that as a question. Like,
I get it.
yeah, right? Like when I'm
Yeah.
calm and clear, like this is something that I started seeing a couple years ago, that the world is always a beautiful place.
Mm.
Sometimes I just think that it isn't.
Mm.
And then it doesn't
Mm.
look that way. Then it looks like whatever I'm thinking instead of beautiful. Like there's
Mm.
something when we're here, when we're relaxed, that natural love, that natural care, that innate peace and joy that bubbles up is what we experience.
Mm. Mm.
And even the
Yeah.
hard
Yes.
stuff looks beautiful in a way. I might not always
Mm.
say that it looks like love because it
Mm.
doesn't, but there's something beautiful about it. There's something beautiful about all the human experience from that, from here, from really being here. There is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And my curiosity for the deeper sense of love is that it occurs to me that if I am putting qualifiers and quantifiers on it, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm wanting to see. I'm wanting to see I'm wanting to see that vibration in all of us that says everything is viewed in the same plane of love,
Mm.
whether it is a homeless person, whether it is my wife, whether it is my dogs, is that level available to us. And the only thing that changes that love is when I put quantifiers and qualifiers on it.
Mm. Yeah.
Thank you. This is wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Dennis. Yeah, there's just love without any meaning. There's no personal meaning to it. It's just this. And that, I wanted to touch on what was said earlier, this idea of mind, which I'll speak to as that feels to me the aliveness of life that I've been talking about, like the feeling of being alive, the animation of life is mind, and aligning the personal and the universal. So aligning the personal and the universal, it doesn't mean not having, all right, what does it actually mean to me? The way it looks now is without a thought of me, without meaning. Okay, I'm not making meaning about anything, especially myself, which is the obsession that I have, right? What does this mean about me? What are they going to say about me? You know, am I a good person? Who am I? What am I? What am I doing? Like all of that stuff. Without that, the movement of life through me is really simple, and my navigation system is super simple. It's what I know for no reason, right? Knowing is like, if you ask, like, how did you know to do that? I just knew. We come up with all kinds of reasons afterward, but there's like this just simple knowing. I know to do this. And then there's this other one. This is wisdom too. This is life too. This to me is the universal mind moving through us, through our desires. I just want to do that for no reason, because I want to. I'm drawn to it. I don't know why. I don't have to talk myself into it because I just want it. Like, this is how we are, like, life shows us what's meant for us. It's not outside of us. It's not like somehow we have to give up our personal experience to be in the flow of life. It's actually the flow of life animates our personal experience, including our personal desires, the ones that are just so clean, so easy. And you can tell which ones aren't because they feel right, but it's like, oh no, I just want this. Like I really like food a lot. And sometimes I'm just like, oh, this is delicious, right? Like I want, what do I want? Peanut butter. Like I've really been enjoying peanut butter lately. I'm like, oh, I just want some peanut butter. And it's like, I like it. Not so much that I'm gorging myself on it, but so I just enjoy it. And I want to go for a walk on the beach. there's not, I can come up with good reasons for it. I could tell you about, like, oh, there's higher percentage of oxygen walking near the water, and it's good for my health and my heart and whatever, and sunlight helps my eyesight. But no, I just really, I want it. I want to walk on the beach. I like it. I'm drawn to it. I live near the beach on purpose. Life showed me a way to live a 4-minute walk from the beach, because life knows that Stephanie likes the beach. And I said yes. So cool.
Okay. Well, Steph, we just have a couple minutes left. Do you want to say anything in closing before I share some resources with people?
Oh, let's see. Whether you feel it or not, you're here in the flow of life. You're always carried and moved by the flow of life. And you can trust it to bring you what you need, to show you what's yours to do, because you'll find yourself doing it. You'll find yourself moved. You'll find yourself inexplicably drawn. It's not something you have to figure out. And really enjoying your life makes it easier for that to be discernible for you. So maybe experiment with that if it feels good. Just relaxing a little bit more and see where life takes you.
All right, I will. I'm sure we all will. And thanks so much again. Thanks so much again, Steph. Just a few resources I want to share with you. I'm gonna pop this into the chat now. A couple things for
doing the happy dance.
for people who are three PGC members. Stephanie will be back tomorrow with a monthly amazing program we have, which is called Going Deeper for Practitioners. But you don't have to be a practitioner to come. It's just
come.
Just come. So that'll be tomorrow,
Go
2
deeper.
2 p.m. Eastern. Something that Steph is sharing next week. This is for everyone, and I love this title. It's the Paid to Be You Map. Realign your business to create a life you love. It's a free workshop, October 29th, and you'll see a link in the chat there. Last thing.
Can I say a tiny thing about that, Tom?
Go with it.
This workshop is really all about living from flow and discovering what it is that you truly desire and what you know is yours to do in this moment. I call it the now step, like you got it already. It's here. And so we're going to spend some time exploring and playing and noticing what it is that we actually already know. And it's usually more than we think. So if that sounds like fun, please come. All right. Sorry to interrupt you now, Tom.
It so sounds like fun. And then let's see, just so I want to make sure I get the date right. The next 3P GC webinar will be on the 12th of November, which is a Wednesday. So November 12th, Wednesday, it'll be 2 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to have Jacqueline Hollows, who just, if you know her, you know how awesome she is. If you don't, she is not only a beautiful person who shares this, but doing some very, very unique and powerful work in the UK. So we hope you come then. And with that, feel free to unmute yourself and say bye and thanks to Steph.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
to see
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. We'll see you
Bye.
next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.